Governor Fayose, what would you say? It's a difficult time in the country today. And there are a lot of people, perhaps, who don't even have hope of what to eat tonight. As your final word on the program, what would you say is a way forward? What do you think the government should do to alleviate the suffering of the many, many millions of Nigerians who tonight are looking for hope?
Let me say this. Maybe this will now be a better way to represent my mind. I went to one state in the north, and I don't want to mention the name of that state. I was there for 3 days. In the course of my stay, I got familiar with people in that part of the government house that I stayed. So I sat outside and we started speaking to 1 or 2 people. And the gate man told me, he said, how long have you been in government work? He said he has spent 26 years. So I said, good. What is your salary? He said, Megida, kudi small. I said, how much? He said, it's 34,000. I said, how many children do you have? He said, he has 16. How many wives? He says, 4. My brother, problem is inside, is it? Because, for God's sake, if somebody is earning 35,000, what can government do with 17 children? We don't want to be realistic. Another person said he has 8 children, 3 wives, and one of his wives is still expecting. They don't trust to be done with our people too. Because when you have to have children, you go into government. A government that is struggling to survive. It's difficult. When you're asking me, what will I say to them? What will I say to a man who has 17 wives?
All right,
17 children for our 4 wives? Yeah. Yes.
We must sincerely thank you for your time tonight. I appreciate it. That's the former governor of Ekiti State, a 2-time governor of Ekiti State. He calls himself the Oshoko, the Onomole, Tonje Jollof Rice.
Jollof Rice. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Governor Adele Fayose. Thank you. I'm not sure the Onomole can even eat Jollof Rice again.
Fayose is a former governor. He ruled Ekiti State for 8 years. Look at a former governor thought process. He was being asked the way forward. Nigerians are complaining of hunger. Nigerians are complaining of insecurity. Nigerians are complaining of inflation. Nigerians are complaining of unemployment. They want the cost of governance to be reduced. And this man, a former governor, was asked the way forward. What do you think can be done to stop this protest? What do you think can be done to address the issues in Nigeria? And he's blaming the North for their population. He's blaming somebody in the North for marrying 6 wives and having 18 children. Of course, we know that population density can be a very big problem in times of development, but a very good government can utilize population density for the progress and prosperity of that nation. We will talk about that later. But let me say this. The population in the North did not just start under President Tinubu's regime. It has been from time immemorial. Even from the time of the military regime to the time of Obasanjo to the time of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Muhammadu Buhari, and now President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it has never been an issue. It was equally the number in the north that made President Muhammadu Buhari to become the president. It was equally the large number from the north that helped Bola Ahmed Tinubu to grab and snatch his way into power to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Wasn't that a problem at that time? Oh, number is not a problem when it comes to election, but number becomes a problem when it comes to real governance. Like I said, the issue of number is not today's problem. It has been from time immemorial. So what are we going to do? Are we going to start killing off people? Are we going to start exterminating people to reduce the population in Nigeria? Absolutely no. We have a large population, over 200 million persons. What are you going to do? All over the world, large population has never been a problem. In fact, it is an effective tool that is being used by the government to drive development in a country. Every visionary leader looked towards utilizing the human capital available to him or her. Presidents all over the world, they've utilized their human capital to bring real development in their country. Take a look at India, for instance. India was having the same population issue. India was having the same underdevelopment. India was having the same rate of poverty. India was having the same rate of unemployment. Every negative indices was associated with India because of their large population. At a point in time, Nigeria has a better economy in the 80s than India. But then emerged a visionary leader in the person of Narendra Modi. This man came in and saw the population in India. He utilizes the human capital in India and turned the economy of India around. Like I said, Nigeria was far above India in the 80s, but in 2012, India was rated the third fastest growing economy in the world, and guess the other two fastest growing economy, China and Nigeria. In 1980, Nigerian GDP per capita was times 4 better off than that of India. But today, India has flipped Nigeria and has a better GDP than that of Nigeria. India lifted 250 million persons out of poverty. But in this same vein, Nigeria threw 112 million persons into multi-dimensional poverty in the past 9 years. Two countries with the same population issues. One went about trying to fix the issue, lifting people out of poverty. 250 million persons lifted out of poverty. But the same Nigeria with the same population issue, they are throwing more persons into poverty. 115 million persons into poverty. Dear Fayose, the problem is not the population. The problem is not the North. The problem is not the Northerner having 4 wives and having 18 children. The problem is leadership. We have a leadership failure in this country. And you as a governor of Ekiti State, you are part of that leadership failure we have in this country. Of course, you don't want to look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth that you are part of the problem. But rather you want to turn around and blame it on the citizens and blame it on the population that you and other leaders in this country, they have failed to utilize. We are having a population of 200 million persons, but we cannot feed our people. We cannot even farm. This is a population that we can utilize and change our GDP. Nigerians are hardworking people, but our leaders, they've abandoned the people. Rather than making them to engage in meaningful enterprise, they are using them for election violence. It is disingenuous to blame the Northerners for the problem we are having in this country because of their large population. Their large population can be of greater advantage. Peter B.Y. campaigning, he talks about their large population. He talks about how he is going to use the population in the North to revolutionize agriculture in our country. If that was allowed to happen, I don't think we'll be having food issue in this country today. Rather than blaming the Northerners for their population, you need to talk to the government. The government needs to introduce education to them. The government needs to engage them in meaningful enterprise. There is no reason why people in the North should be practicing a Marjorie system. That system is criminal. We need to abolish that system. The reason why we're having so much insecurity in our country, Nigeria, is because the insecurity in the North was not curtailed. It was not nipped in the bud. And why did insecurity flourish so much in the North? It is because of the ignorance of the people. The people were left unattended by the government. You have large number of people that were not catered for by the government, and criminal organizations recruited them into carrying out criminal activities. In as much as I will agree with you that the population in the North is one of the major problems we're having in this country, but I also think that it is the duty of the government to utilize the population very well. If that population is utilized, I can tell you it can be for a greater advantage to Nigeria. So you don't blame them, blame the government for abandoning them. And of course, this is not only limited to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it's cut across all the leaders we have in this country. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president currently. What is he doing to address the situation? That is what you need to focus your attention on rather than blaming the Northerners. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.